like an extraterrestrial, extraterrestrial.
Doctor?
Like I don't belong, I feel like I don't belong. Like I don't belong, I feel like I don't belong. Extraterrestrial, 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 extraterrestrial. Like I don't belong, I feel like I don't belong. Like I don't belong, I feel like I don't belong. Extraterrestrial, 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 extraterrestrial. Like an extraterrestrial, extraterrestrial. Like I don't belong, I feel like I don't belong. Like I don't belong, I feel like I don't belong. Extraterrestrial, 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 extraterrestrial. Like I don't belong, I feel like I don't belong. Like I don't belong, I feel like I don't belong. Extraterrestrial, 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 extraterrestrial. Like an extraterrestrial, extraterrestrial.
Doctor?
Like I don't belong, I feel like I don't belong. Like I don't belong, I feel like I don't belong. Extraterrestrial, 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 extraterrestrial. Like I don't belong, I feel like I don't belong. Like I don't belong.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the BTSI show. I'm host Christopher J. Thank you guys for tuning in. We are here, Wrestling Wednesdays. Yes, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. As a matter of fact, I believe this is going to be my first Wrestling Wednesday that's dedicated to AEW. So really excited about that. So I'm glad that I'm able to knock this out. Like I said, thank you guys for tuning in. Do me a favor, like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on all my social links are located in the description. $sign the BTSI shows the Cash App. Participate with all rights and privacy. Excuse me. Excuse me. Too much water. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Once we reach that goal, one lucky person will get $100 during the Cash App giveaway. And when we get back to doing um, watch party and live reactions, we're going to get back to doing it with WWE, and we're also going to add AEW pay-per-views as well. So give me 1,000 subscribers, and we will see what we can do about that. All right. So, and also, if you are a wrench holder on my channel and you do not see your wrench, my sincerest apologies. Accidents happen. Players fuck up too. Please type in the chat, where is my wrench? And I will see to get that fixed immediately. Okay. So, we're here. Wrestling Wednesday. What is on today's docket, ladies and gentlemen? Let's quickly just go over. Let's quickly go over Double or Nothing. I didn't have a problem with it was a solid pay per view. So let me just make that perfectly clear. That it was a very solid pay per view. Now there's a couple things I do want to highlight. First of all, congratulations to Mercedes Moné for winning the AEW Women's Championship. I kind of figured that because with Double or Nothing being the pay per view, the last thing you want is to Sasha Banks for excuse me, Mercedes Moné first big match to not win the champion. So you want to get new people in there, and you want to get probably one of the hottest wrestlers on the planet, not women's wrestlers, just hottest wrestlers. Period. So I do see why Tony Khan pulled the trigger on that. Say Mercedes, you're going to win on Double or Nothing, and we'll get to the press conference later on. Now, I want to speak about the clear things that didn't make any sense. Let's start with Edge. I get it. When you're feeling yourself, you just want to push it to a new gear. That 50-foot drop was pushing it too far. Ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to spots like that, the last thing you want to do is land on your legs. That's the last thing you want to do. Edge found that out the hard way. He was able to make connection, but yikes. Now, like he said in a post on social media, it's a fractured tibia. And matter of fact, how long are you typically going to be out with a fractured tibia? I left my watch in there because I could have asked Siri. Let's see. Because when I saw that, I was like, what are you thinking, old man? And I do mean that respectfully. Uh, Recovery time for a fractured tibia. Let's see. 3 to 6 months. Yep, sounds about right. And giving Edge, well, let me not say Edge's age per se because it's Edge. So I'll say 7 months or 8 months. He's going to be out. He's not coming back till next year. So that was probably the one downfall. And the only recovery was Jesus, homeboy from the Brew, Grangar. I forget how to pronounce his name every time. Him coming back and assisting Edge was nostalgia at its best. And AEW at one point was just a um, nostalgia brand at first, but and now you get the newer talents, and sometimes you got to put a little attitude era in there just to salute those of the past. So I appreciate the nostalgia, but Edge recovery time, recovery time, recovery time. You get back by by the end of this year. Glory to God for that, but Jesus Christ, you don't land on your feet, especially from that height. You're not Captain America. You're not any of these people, so we're not going to do that. And actually, I'm probably against my better judgment. I'm going to drop the link just in case. just in case. Next up, Big Bill's. See, Big Bill's injury. I wish I had an opportunity to get the picture and post it. I may do it when I go do my edits. Did you guys see how close Bill was to ending his career? That was damn near a bad spot. I don't know how AEW would have came off from that if he went 2 inches to the right. Yeah, two more inches to the right. That would have been a very, very, and I mean a very painful pay per view to watch. And now some people say it would have been that bad. Oh, really? Let's go to the next one. How about Darby Allin using a flamethrower? Now, don't get it twisted. The child in me enjoyed the flamethrowers. I'm always going to be very appreciative of flamethrowers. Matter of fact, the last time I saw a flamethrower, excuse me, the last time I saw a flamethrower was back when X Pac used it against Kane, because that's when I forgot what Kane's girlfriend's name was, but she decided to jump ship, go join DX. She about to, well, she he walked her up that aisle. X Pac was waiting there with the flamethrower. Now, like I said, the kid in me enjoyed it, but the business side of me is like, come on, they stopped this for a reason. Not to say that there's no wrestling promoters who don't use flamethrowers. You go to these indie leagues. Well, one of these days, I'm gonna do an all reaction, and I'm gonna show you guys. If you guys haven't seen it already, which I'm pretty sure most of you guys have, some of these indie brands, they use a little bit more deadlier things than flamethrowers. But that's indies. They could accept the risk because the reward is more. But at this stage, to set someone on fire like that, and you're talking about like third-degree burns, and it's like, come on, what are we doing here? That was like, that's enough. Well, you don't. That was certain lines you don't cross. Like, I know you're trying to do whatever, and I'm really putting my foot in Tony Khan's ass on this one. I know you got to do whatever you can do to keep up with WWE or surpass them. At what cost? You have enough talent. We'll get into MJF later. You got enough talent to rival WWE or get the slight edge past them. You you have that. You got to trust. You have to trust your roster. And I know you guys haven't heard me say this in a while, but when it comes to the promos, the script, you got what I always say: trust the pen, trust the pen, and you got to trust your talent that they can deliver. And we'll get into, like I said, we'll get into MJF. Oops. Momentarily. Where is it? There we go. So, and that was Double or Nothing. If I had to grade Double or Nothing, I'll give it a solid. I'll give it prior to the return of MJF, it was sitting at 8.5 maybe. The matches were good. I didn't have a problem with some of the matches. They chose their spots nicely. So before we knew MJF was coming back, it was sitting at an 8.5. So we'll get into MJF later on. Next up, this is where this is where I will blame Vince McMahon, but I'm a shoot Triple H and the rest of WWE some slack. But AEW is entertaining the idea of a mixed tag team titles. For those who don't know, mixed tag team matches, man comprising of a man and woman tag team, and obviously the man fights the man, the woman fights the woman for obvious reasons. So Tony Khan said he's interested in that, and he will be entertaining that. This is where people are a little bit more innovative than WWE. And WWE can knock it out of the park when they want to, but you have all these other indies who are willing to take chances and take risks. Now, I remember a long time ago back in TNA. See, I as a kid, I knew about this, and I always asked myself, how come they don't? How come WWE doesn't, or WCW for that matter, don't have a tag team championship for the women? always ask myself that. TNA did one, and I remember that because Ivory, who used to wrestle for WWE, who went to TNA, or it was the Ivory or Victoria, I can't remember who it was. They went there, was excited, and kind of and threw a shot at WWE for not coming up with that concept, and it was such an easy concept. Now, when you kind of migrated from the Attitude Era to whatever you want to call the last era, I guess ruthless aggression era is what we can call it because they wasn't doing too much man versus women wrestling matches. When you transition to that era, you start to see a lot more mixed tag team matches. So it's like, why don't you do a mixed tag team titles? It made total sense. Oh, and matter of fact, before I even go any further, I remember WCW had a handicap title. And I remember seeing that one time. Well, a promo for it because it will always be shown on the pay per view somewhere. They had a handicap title. Now I'm trying to figure out how that will work out, how you will transfer the belts. I don't know too much about that. I need to go look into it. Like, how is that even remotely possible? But I'm shedding light on that to say that this is where these because when WWE is at the top, they don't have to do too much to keep the audience attention. Because it's like, where else are you gonna go? And for all these other indies, they said we're working with house money. All we could do is just really just throw money at the wall and make it stick. So with what AEW doing here with the idea of a mixed tag team titles, I'm in full support of it. And we all know if it works in other spots, other fields, WWE will eventually adapt to it. Now I'm going to now as far as that's a good question. I may have to credit that to Stephanie McMahon, but I would like to know who brought the idea of a women's tag team championship to WWE because it was a great decision, a smart business decision. I just wish it happened earlier. So that's just my thought on that. I'm in full support of there being a mixed tag team titles in wrestling, AEW specifically. So I have no problem with that. Tony Khan can get it right every now and then. So let's credit him for that. Next up, Mercedes Money said in a press conference that AEW saved her life. Wrestling in general saved her life. AEW, I could totally understand that because we all know that her and Naomi walked out of the WWE because they wasn't too pleased with the creative direction that the company was going, and they decided to take a chance and take a risk on themselves, which I'm all for. Now, do I think it could have been done better circumstances? Yeah, sure, but nevertheless, the message was loud and clear. Naomi went to go do her own thing, TNA, and found her way back in WWE by the Royal Rumble. Sasha Banks tried the indie scene, went to New Japan Wrestling. Now she's in AEW. Now keep in mind, she's not supposed to be in AEW at all. Matter of fact, she's not supposed to be wrestling again. Now, some type of leg injury or foot injury would have kept her from wrestling again. I don't know. I do not remember what it was, and what is up with these foot injuries that is going to cost somebody their life. But hey, I'm not a doctor. I'm just grateful that she's alive. But with that, keep I get what she's saying because she literally took a huge risk. Granted, I said, matter of fact, I've always said this. What year was it? The year where all three of them did a triple threat match for the women's championship at WrestleMania 32. That whole year, you had to do Wrestler of the Year. I would have had no problem if it was Charlotte Flair or Sasha Banks. And I'm saying all that is because they wrestle. They wrestle harder than the men. They went harder. Yeah, they wrestled. They went more harder than the men, and because of that, the genuineness that they gained from the all wrestling fans inside of WWE and outside, it traveled with her. So with that, she decided to take a chance on herself. She betted on herself, and dare I say, it has been paying off. your new AEW Women's Champion. So I, although she could say AEW save her life, I think just her betting on herself opened up a new insight that she has all the leverage in the world, and people have to people need you a lot more than you need them. So, but I'm not mad at the comment AEW saved my life, because that's more or less of a Tony Khan thing, in my opinion. Has nothing to do with Mercedes, but we'll talk about that. We'll talk about Tony Khan in a couple of minutes. Well, a couple of seconds. Mark Henry is not renewing his AEW contract. I know he wants to focus on his own brand and things outside of wrestling. He earned it. Totally understand. I totally understand. And we want to hear say we salute Mark Henry, OG Mark Henry. I expect him. Well, at least I'm hoping for it. He needs to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame uh, for Vegas next year. I 100% believe that Mark Henry needs to go in the Hall of Fame. He's earned it. Multi-time champion. One of the greatest talents. You know, I'm not acknowledging the sexual chocolate days. Excuse me. Not happening. And that's a matter of fact, that's another man that took a chance on himself. Go back to when he left WWE and he did these the world's strongest man competition, on particularly on a social competition. And this is where I'll credit Vince for pushing him. You don't get first place, you're not coming back. And pretty much, how can I promote you if you come second fiddle to somebody else? He busted his ass. He did what he had to do, and he won that competition. And now, world's strongest man. That's not a wrestling moniker. He actually owns that title outside of wrestling. So I'm all for it. Salute to the OG Mark Henry. Now, this guy. Um, you guys, I'm. Oh my God, how can I say this respectfully? Um, I'm gonna try to say this as respectful as I possibly can. Tony Khan is corny. Tony Khan is very, and I mean very corny. I you this is like, and we're gonna talk about this next week when it comes to being a content biter. That's gonna be my Thursday show for next week. I know I was gonna talk about oppression and suppression, but I'll push that back for this. Um, Tony Khan is biting off of Vince McMahon. Like the more trying to get more camera time, and because you're trying to, all eyes is on you. This is all about me. It's like, Tony, we do not care about you. We don't. Why do we care about? Well, see, here's the thing. Keep in mind how Vince got on TV. Remember, he was a commentator at one point in time. So you always saw Vince McMahon, and just see how he elevated his character persona. He always owned the company, but he's talking about his character persona. He always elevated. You started low, and I put that in air quotes. You start low and you work your way up. Tony is starting at the top, not really understanding the on-camera grind that you have to put in. Of course, you're gonna have all these wrestlers that's gonna support him, and I'm talking about the AEW locker room. Who's gonna talk against Tony? The only person that I think would do that is probably Chris Jericho, maybe a couple other people, but they don't care. It's Tony Khan. I just say, as a consumer, this horrible acting that he did, I never seen someone roll down a ramp that bad before in my life. Maybe graduation or somebody's grandmother missed a step, but that was putrid. Acting skill is garbage. Like, Tony, This is TBS. This is pay per view. This is TNT. This is not Tubi. Get it together. And also, what really another thing that I noticed that this was getting corny. I forgot who destroyed them on TV, but he went on talk show interviews with a neck brace on, and it's like, Tony, what the fuck are you doing? And then because his pops own the is it the Dolphins, I believe? I think it's the Dolphins. He's sitting there in the draft room, acting like he's hurt or whatever, and just trying to make some picks. Like you're trying to oversell, like we're stupid. You might have I say this respectfully to the WWE fans because I am one. You may have a chance of getting that off in the WWE fans, the children to be exact. You're not getting it off on anybody that watches AEW. You're not. We know you're not hurt. We know you is just fine. And if you was hurt, you're canceling your interviews. That's number one. And number two, I really don't think you're gonna be catching which ESPN time with that neck brace on, thinking, oh, he got a neck brace on? Oh, because he on AEW. Oh, I'm gonna go watch it. No, we're not doing that. You had to have faith that your audience knows the adults, obviously. Have faith that your audience know what's going on, and they're just here to be entertained. You're taking it too far, and that makes you look corny. Tony, get it together. You're, like I said, I seen better acting skills on Tubi. And speaking of Tubi, I actually have a friend that is an actor on Tubi. I need to talk to her about an interview. Let me be quiet. But it's Wrestling Wednesday. Let's get to it. This turned a 8.5 pay per view into a perfect 10. This segment right here turned an 8.5 pay per view, a good, damn near great pay per view, into a greater pay per view. MJF is back. Your key to shake up WWE and having them choose their words carefully is him. You brought back the devil. Great, great decision, great spot. Especially given that King and Queen of the Ring was Saturday, and then you do this. This was pure genius, pure genius. I loved it, and I love the promo, the video packet of how it's set up. You're walking down the hallway, and you open the room. You see all the MJF memorabilia. Excuse me. Yeah, all that set up, and you then had him go inside his suit and pulled out this picture. And I was like, "Ooh!" I was like, he coming back right now?" Then his information comes like, "Doom doom." Dun, 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 dun. I started to get goosebumps. I was like, there we effing go. You got a new MJF. I don't know why he came in with the Triple H attire, but I was like, yeah, you can't do that one. You ain't in the gym like that. You in the gym, but not like that. Because go back to that when he came back on Monday Night Raw. How you look swole in a hoodie, in a a leather jacket, and a jean jacket. That was a moment in history, ladies and gentlemen. That dude was huge. Pause. So I just find that attire to be hysterical, but I was happy that MJF came back. They had a moment in the ring, nut checked him, and he did a brain buster. Yeah, he did a brain buster suplex on him, and he cut one of the meanest, passionate promos that I've ever heard in a long time. And this is where AEW has the advantage over WWE, and albeit it was a pay per view, so you can get away dropping the F bomb. WWE has these parameters in place because they have sponsors. Not to say AEW doesn't have sponsors, but we know WWE does, and we know there's certain guidelines that they cannot cross. Now, granted, they are blending out, they are thinning out those edges. What's PG-13, what's rated R, but is they're still keeping it in the PG-13 format. With AEW, with the promos that they're shooting, particularly MJF, here's it's like when you get the script, okay, MJF, here's what we want you to talk about, or MJF being who he is, here's what I'm going to talk about. I am going to stay within these parameters of this promo. But if I get passionate, excuse my passion, if I say if I drop the F bomb, or if I'm doing all this profanity or whatever the case may be, the crowd knows what's going on. Because Chris Jericho said this in the I forgot if he was being interviewed by either Jim Ross or Bubba Ray Dudley. He said when it comes to WWE, some people like Disney movie. I like Quentin Tarantino movies. It's going to be much more edgier. It's going to be much more raunchy. It's going to be much more grimy. So I'm all for it. And because AEW was able to expand those boundaries further than WWE, this is what's going to see that, like I said, they are going to remain neck and neck, or AEW is going to slightly pass them in some way, shape, or form. Now, uh, now that they got two nights, they got Dynamite, and I missed Dynamite tonight because I was busy getting my son ready for tomorrow, and of course you got Collision on the weekend. I cannot wait to see this. WWE, albeit they had a great year, WWE cannot afford to take their foot off the gas. Now that NJF made it loud and clear that he is dedicated to AEW. He is not leaving. He's not going anywhere. And if you're MJF, why would you go anywhere? Look what you can do. Look how much boundaries. Look how long of a rope they are giving you. I wouldn't. Not to say he'll do bad in WWE, but no, this passion is not allowed anywhere else, particularly broadcast television, because you're going to cross that line. And like I said, as a fan, I'm all for it. I am all for it. So I'm glad that he decided to stay. I'm glad that we're about to get a MJF versus Adam Cole feud. That's probably going to last. It's going to make it to September. It's gonna it's gonna make it to September. It is what it is. What's going on? How you doing, fam? So yeah, I'm actually, like I said, I'm glad that they're back. Now the question is, now let's get to the business side real quick. Because like I said, this is a AEW stream. I am not going to talk about WWE unless I'm if there's a tiny AEW. What is this going to do for the business now? Because MJF been gone for 6 months, and I guess a lot of step back that AEW has went through has been done on the due to the absence of MJF. Oh, excuse me, against MJF. I expect. Well, no, it's not expect. I know that all pushings, everything's gonna have to go through MJF. Every single thing. That is literally your moneymaker right there. Now, how's Tony Khan going to screw this up? Let's give him a chance. Not to screw up, to get this right. So so that way, like I said, he's already committed. He's already gone. So now you just need to get some talent that can match that level of MJF. You see WWE making more cuts as they're doing right now. You can also bring somebody up from those other indie scenes as well. Keep feeding the devil. Keep feeding this devil so everybody can win at the end. Because with this guy alone, This is going to get you caught up with WWE, if not surpassed them by a smidge. If I was them, I would take care of MJF at any cost. Excuse me. And that is my take on all of this. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a little all world reaction. Let me see what is the latest news that's going on today. So, like I said, I did not get a chance to catch up. Oh, I did not get a chance to catch what do you call it? Dynamite today because I was a little bit busy. But let's see what news today we can focus on. That is pro WWE. I mean AEW. Let's see. Oh yeah, this one kind of took me aback. Let's get the volume up. Oops. And please don't mind the sound and the all. I'm gonna get better take this better stuff now. I saw this on another show yesterday. Let's go ahead and get started. Of course it does that. Okay, let's try this again, shall we?
Next up, an AEW star shows up on NXT. Jordan Grace wasn't the only surprise appearance on the Black and Gold brand, as former AEW talent Ethan Page showed up after Lash legend from the Metaphor faction asked NXT champion Trick Williams whether he was responsible for the beatdown on Legend's teammates. Williams said he wasn't the only one involved, only for Ethan Page to show up and lay him out, taking the NXT title belt. Page tweeted about his appearance saying, "I guess I worked that trick." There was even a funny line from Vic Joseph as he straight up said, "Wasn't he an AE? Whoa, 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 whoa." NXT superstar Cesar Bernardi tweeted about how he helped keep Jordan and Ethan's surprise appearances incognito. "Closed garage workout this morning. I had to hide, tame, and feed two beasts." As we'll see, other AEW wrestlers may be available for NXT and the main roster as two.
So, with that addition, that is well, not to say he was a slouch. He wasn't a slouch in AEW, but the fact that you got talent from AEW going to NXT because only the NXT and AEW mirror each other. Like they're a perfect match. I would not put AEW against SmackDown or Raw, although AEW can surpass them just by a smidge. So they suitable rival is NXT, and the fact that somebody went over there is a interesting sign. So salute to Ethan. I do. I'm a firm believer. Do I like him going after Trick Williams already? Probably not, but you got to feed the beast every now and then. So let's see what's next.
Two AEW stars exit the company. There's big news concerning former Inner Circle member Jack Hager, as BodySlam.net's Cassidy Haynes provided an exclusive story that sources have confirmed to BodySlam.net that AEW star Jake Hager's contract has also recently expired, and he did not re-sign with All Elite Wrestling, making him a free agent. It was also noted to me that the decision was believed to be mutual. Everyone.
Yeah, I don't. I've been noticed that a lot. A lot of people has been letting their contract expired, and it just odd to me. That's all. I just noticed that trend.
Hager worked in the WWE as Jack Swagger, had a strong supporting role alongside Chris Jericho in the Inner Circle and Jericho Appreciation Society, but unfortunately saw less and less TV time. There's no word on what's next for the 42-year-old wrestler and MMA competitor, but another long-time figure in all.
I don't think he's going back. Do I think he's going back to WWE? Let me guess, because a lot of people want to go back to WWE because of Vince and Vince. I mean, because of Triple H. But do I think he's going back? I'm going to lean towards no. I think he's going to try to end the scene a little bit more before he even makes that switch. So if I had to guess, the answer is no.
Elite is leaving. Arn Anderson. Anderson, who worked as an on screen talent coach for Cody Rhodes, amongst others, announced on his podcast that he's leaving AEW. The enforcer gushed with praise for AEW President Tony Khan. Here at the tail end of my career, I've been very fortunate to work for AEW and Tony Khan for the last 4 years. He's a great human being. He's taken the wrestling business and given another option and a whole other category of what pro wrestling is perceived to be.
I think Arn Anderson. Arn Anderson's not going to go back to WWE, but and if you ask me, I think he has a son that wrestles, so he might just prioritize the son.
Or can be, or will be, or has been. So I just want to thank you to everyone who worked there. They're all exceptionally great. And he explained his reasons for his departure. The time I have left, I want to spend with Brock because I think Brock has the attitude and he will be a player for somebody. I just got to get him some experience, so that's where I'm going to devote my time is helping to develop Brock and teaching him. And if he comes along, like I think he will. Arn Anderson's son Brock is 27 years old, and it's unknown what promotion, if any, are interested in bringing him in. Brock worked in AEW from 2021 to 2023, but some fans are already wondering if AA will ever return to WWE, and if so, will he return to coaching Cody Rhodes? Next up,
No, Arn Anderson. No, I think he's going to focus on his sons, play the background, and I think he's done with wrestling in that regard, like trying to get on there, TV time, coaches, that type of stuff. I think he's done with that. We appreciate the services that he has done for the wrestling industry, but now he's not going back on TV. Now, let's skip to the next thing. I did. Hmm.
Chris Jericho talks Becky Lynch coming to AEW. And while Becky's contract expires at the end of the month, the man has said she's taking a hiatus from now. Nonetheless, it's believed that Lynch could command the highest payday yet for a female wrestler when she decides to return to wrestling. However, could it be in AEW? Chris Jericho spoke about this with TMZ Sports, noting that AEW's presence has made things better for wrestlers in general. You mentioned Becky Lynch. 5 years ago, Becky would have no other options. I'm not saying that she's coming, but there's an option, and who knows what could happen. No one thought that Jericho would come to AEW. No one thought that Moxley would come, or Bryan Danielson, or Adam Cole, or any of these guys that have come over. So it's exciting for the fans, and exciting for the wrestlers and the talent because now, suddenly, there's a bidding war that benefits us. So I think it's very important. Jericho also discussed how the two companies made for more surprises in wrestling as fans never know who will show up where. That was it.
Becky Lynch is not going to AEW. Let me make that perfectly clear. Becky Lynch is not going to AEW. She's going to take a break. She's going to go be a wife and a husband. Yo, excuse me. Apologies. I know you the man, but yo, salute to Seth. That was wild. She's a wife. She's a mother. She's an author. She's going to take a break. Yeah, she's going to go take a break and just chill. That's all that is. Ain't nothing more, nothing less. She'll be fine. And it's like WWE's not going to rescind the offer because it's Becky. So that's my take on that.
Next up, has Tony Khan become the new Vince McMahon?
And 100%. A great value version of Vince McMahon, to be exact.
As bad news for AEW fans if a report from Figure 4 Online's Brian Alvarez is accurate, as it suggests Tony Khan's current booking style resembles that of Vince McMahon in 2019. Alvarez recently posted this on the Wrestling Observer message board. Tony switched the script on yesterday's pay-per-view multiple times during the afternoon. Most people, not just the wrestlers, have no idea what they're doing until the day of the show, and sometimes not until an hour or so before the show. People are flown to towns and given nothing to do. Others are begged the day before the show to please get to the town so they can do something last minute. He knows what he wants to do for pay-per-views, although this often changes, but as far as week-to-week television, everything is booked show to show. This is terrible news, but not a surprise for
That's actually trash. That's actually unprofessional, in my opinion. We have all this time to, we have all this time. We have all these writers, and they go through all of this to give you a script, and you wait to the last minute to say, "All right, go get me something new." It's like we about to go on in like 5 hours. What do you mean? Go get you something new. Go in there, write something up. That's slightly unprofessional. Actually, full fledged unprofessional. I didn't like when Vince did it. When I found out. Uh, Tony Khan, no, this is bad work. This is nasty work. That's foul.
Fans who have noticed AEW is dropping more storylines without warning and storylines also meandering. There are still solid long term storylines, but something is missing from AEW compared to the company's heyday in 2019 and 2020. Alvarez noted for most people he's incredibly difficult to get a hold of. In some ways, it legitimately is more like 2019 WWE than it is 2019 AEW. It's night and day the changes, and people who work for the company in all roles from the wrestlers to the office talk about it all the time. While injuries and other uncontrollable factors can throw long term plans off, fans seem to appreciate well crafted storylines with a clear start and finish. That has been missing from AEW, and now the WWE's vast improvement in its creative department means AEW now has serious competition. Interestingly, as much as Alvarez bemoaned AEW status, he did point out that AEW today is a billion times better than WWE in 2019. However, for fans who embraced AEW in 2019, the current product is still a major disappointment. What do you guys think of Alvarez's report, and how would you compare the 2019 WWE to today's AEW? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up,
That's a real good question. 2019 WWE versus 2024 AEW. Yeah, I'm about to think about that one. But I do, like I said, I do find that unprofessional on Tony Khan's part. Like you're ripping up scripts on the like maybe hours before the show starts. Now you got wrestlers who have to memorize their script. Now you got people trying to work in certain details. And if you don't like it, well, hopefully you're not too much like Vince because if he didn't like the script, he had ways of showing that he didn't like the script. So hey, it is that's nasty work. I wouldn't recommend that at all. But we're actually going to end it there tonight because I got a couple of things I need to do before I actually get into bed. But yeah, I'm glad to do a AEW Pro Wrestling Wednesday because I didn't think. Well, let me not say what I thought, but I don't know. I was skeptical of the idea of because it was easy for me to do WWE, but AEW it was like a hit and miss. But now that MJF is back, now all the other wrestlers are gonna elevate their promo skills because he will embarrass you. I'm all for it, man. 100% all for it. Now the question is, when will MJF go up against Swerve? Um, if I had to guess, it's going to be in the fall, not now. Let Adam Cole and MJF have the summertime. Give MJF is going to make his way towards Swerve. Probably like I want to say first or second week in September. If I had to guess, because we all know that is coming because Wishcon needs his belt back. But we'll see. We will see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. And that was Wrestling Wednesdays. Like I said, I need to go take care of a couple of things. So let me get out of here. On your way out, excuse me. On your way out, ladies and gentlemen, like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on all social links are located in the description. $sign the BTS I shows the Cash App. Participant waive all rights and privacy. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Once we reach that goal, one lucky person will get $100 during the Cash App giveaway, and we will start looking to do watch parties and live reactions to AEW's pay-per-views. If you're missing a wrench and you're a wrench holder on my page, please type in the chat, where is my wrench? Also, did I post that picture? I did not. I will be back tomorrow morning, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to do a talking point debunk. First one of the season 10 and the first one this year. We're going to debunk the talking point men are, excuse me, let me rephrase that. We're going to see if the talking point men are natural leaders has legitimacy or if it's bullshit. So I will see you guys tomorrow. I will see you guys tomorrow morning. This is the BTSI show. I'm your host, Christopher J. I still ain't got no outro. That's what I need to work on. I'm going to talk to you guys later. Peace out and have a good night.
extraterrestrial, 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 like an extraterrestrial, extraterrestrial, like I don't belong, I feel like I don't belong, like I don't belong, I feel like I don't belong, extraterrestrial, 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 like I don't belong, I feel like I don't belong, like I don't belong, I feel like I don't belong, extraterrestrial, 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 like an extraterrestrial, extraterrestrial,
Doctor?
like I don't belong, I feel like I don't belong, like I don't belong, I feel like I don't belong, extraterrestrial, 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 like I don't belong, I feel like I don't belong, like I don't belong, I feel like I don't belong, extraterrestrial, 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 like an extraterrestrial, extraterrestrial.